what if a missile could fly for days instead of just minutes? Today, we're breaking down Russia's so-called invincible weapon, the Burevestnik cruise missile. It's a piece of tech that could seriously rewrite the rules of modern warfare. So, picture this. In the not-so-distant future, the Kremlin makes a huge announcement, a successful test of a weapon that President Putin himself has called invincible. Now that is a bold claim, and it's one that has sent some serious shockwaves through the global defense community. Okay, so what are we really looking at here? Is this a genuine superweapon, a true game changer, or is it just some very sophisticated propaganda? Let's try to separate the official claims from the hard analysis and figure out what the Burevestnik is really all about.
To get to the bottom of that, we first have to understand what makes this missile so radically different from anything in a conventional arsenal. And the secret? Well, it all comes down to its power source.
This is the 9M730 Burevestnik, which translates to storm petrel. It was first shown to the world by Putin back in 2018, but NATO, well, they've given it a much more, let's say, cinematic code name, SSC-X-9 Skyfall.
The whole idea behind Skyfall is built on a few absolutely wild concepts: a nuclear engine that gives it almost unlimited range, a flight path so low and unpredictable it's nearly impossible to track, and the ultimate goal: to make any missile defense system completely useless. And here's where it gets really crazy. A normal cruise missile is like a sprinter. It burns through its fuel in minutes and that's it. The Burevestnik, with its own tiny nuclear reactor on board, is a marathon runner. It's designed to fly for hours, maybe even days. That single difference fundamentally changes the entire game. All right, now let's get to that recent test, because the numbers Moscow is throwing around are, honestly, pretty mind-blowing. According to Russia's top general, Valery Gerasimov, the missile flew this incredible distance in its latest test. I mean, to give you some perspective, that's roughly the distance from Moscow all the way down to Rio de Janeiro. But you know what? The distance isn't even the most impressive part. They're saying it stayed in the air for 15 hours. That's the real demonstration of what a nuclear power source can do. The ability to just loiter, to maneuver, and evade defenses over huge amounts of time.
So how does this thing even get going? Well, it's a two-stage process, and it's really all about safety. You have conventional rocket boosters that do the initial heavy lifting, just to get it off the ground. It's only once it's safely up in the air that the nuclear heart of the missile actually kicks in to power the rest of the journey.
But despite Moscow painting this picture of a huge success, Western analysts and arms control groups are telling a very, very different story, one that's full of challenges and, frankly, disasters.
Yeah, the road to this one's supposed success has been anything but smooth. In fact, arms control groups have been tracking this thing for years, and they've counted at least 13 different tests since 2016. And if you look at the data before this latest announcement, the picture it paints is pretty bleak. We're talking 11 outright failures, maybe 2 that were partially successful, and 0, absolutely 0, fully confirmed successes. That really tells you just how massive the technical hurdles have been. And this is what experts, like the ones at the International Institute for Strategic Studies, have been saying all along. Engineering a safe, reliable nuclear reactor that's small enough to cram inside a cruise missile, that is an unbelievably difficult thing to pull off. And we're not just talking about technical problems here. The development has apparently come at a tragic human cost, with accidents during previous tests that have, tragically, resulted in fatalities.
So, that brings up a huge question. Why now? Why announce a successful test of this incredibly complex and controversial weapon at this exact moment? Well, as always in geopolitics, the timing is everything.
And this timeline here, it's no accident. It tells a very clear story. The whole idea for this kind of weapon comes about right after the US backs out of the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty. Putin unveils it in 2018, and now they're claiming a success right when tensions with the West are at a boiling point. The message from the Kremlin could not be clear. They're basically saying, you can build all the missile defense shields you want. We are building weapons specifically designed to make them irrelevant. This is Russia's play to create a new deterrent that simply cannot be ignored. So, in the end, it leaves us with a really critical question. If this weapon truly works as advertised, what is it? Is it a stabilizing force, a deterrent that actually keeps the peace? Or is it a terrifying escalation, pushing the world into a new, more volatile kind of arms race? That's the debate that Skyfall has just thrown wide open.